What Lonzo thinks is a wide-ranging, free-flowing discussion where I offer up my unsolicited views on everything from music, movies, politics, sports, religion, pop culture, you name it. If it's happening, I'm talking about it. My thoughts are unsolicited, nobody cares, but I care, and I'm arrogant enough to think that eventually you'll care and maybe you'll subscribe. All right, and I am back, and this is my review of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. And off the bat, there will be spoilers. So if you haven't seen the film yet, first of all, why haven't you seen it? And secondly, if you haven't seen it and you don't want to get spoiled, go watch the movie first, then come back and hang out with me, and then you'll find out what I have to say about The Rise of Skywalker. All right, all that being said, The Rise of Skywalker is the culmination of the Skywalker. I was gonna say trilogy, but nine films. You got episodes 1 through 9, of course, 1 through 9. Anyways, it is the culmination of the original Star Wars story arc, so to speak, involving the Skywalkers, Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, so on and so forth. So everybody's seen Star Wars, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. So there's no need for me to kind of go back over that and rehash it. That's kind of redundant. So I'll just kind of jump right into my thoughts about everything involving not only the Rise of Skywalker but also the Star Wars lineage, so to speak. All right, but I'll go back to the very beginning. All right. Of course, I've been like most folks. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and like most people in my age group, I'm a child of the 70s, 80s. I grew up loving Star Wars, and obviously the very first film, which came out I think in 1977. I saw it as a child. I still remember the day that I saw it. I hadn't really seen a whole lot of movies in the theater at that age. I was maybe like 9 years old at that time when Star Wars came out, and I really didn't want to see it. First of all, I didn't know anything about it. Hadn't seen a whole lot of movies in the theaters. I grew up very poor, so we didn't have opportunities to go out to the movies and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, I would see like the trailers or commercials for it on TV or whatever, right? And it just wasn't appealing to me because I wasn't really into movies at that time, especially not like science fiction, so on and so forth. Obviously, I didn't know anything about it, so I really didn't care. So my mom took myself, my brother, and my sister to see Star Wars. It was in October of 1977, I believe. I know it was cold out, and she took us to see it. And when I found out that she was taking us to the movies to see it, first of all, I didn't want to see it. I was upset. I had no desire to see this film whatsoever. And she dropped us off at the movie theater. It was the Plaza Theater in Warner Robins, Georgia. I'll never forget it. Anyway, she drops us off, and I'm there under protest. Didn't want to see the film. Obviously, the film starts. You know how it starts with Princess Leia, the ship being boarded by Darth Vader, and our introduction to Darth Vader and everything. And I was maybe 2-3 minutes into this film, I was hooked, and I've been hooked ever since. It was just a great film. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life, when it, movie wise, so to speak, as a movie enthusiast, as one of those indelible moments. And actually, it's one of the things that kind of ushered me into being a fan of movies. I loved it. Absolutely loved every stinking second of it. I loved Darth Vader. I was scared of him back then, but I still loved him. And Luke Skywalker, of course, the hero's hero. Han Solo, Princess Leia, Chewbacca, Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I remember how I felt when Darth Vader killed him. And now I got sad and I wanted to cry and all that kind of stuff. It was just a great film. So, of course, then you have Return of the Jedi, not Return of the Jedi, The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. And then you go into the prequels, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. And, of course, the original trilogy are the ones that are most beloved by everyone because it has those iconic characters, and those three films were really, really well made. And they really held the story together. My favorite, like most folks, my favorite of all the original films is The Empire Strikes Back. It's highly recognized as one of the greatest sequels ever. And I wasn't a huge fan of Return of the Jedi because I didn't like the Ewoks. I liked the movie. I was entertained by the movie, but I don't watch it as much as I watched the other two of the original trilogy because I did not like the Ewoks. I guess I was at the age then when Return of the Jedi came out. I was a teenager, and I think if I was like 8 9 years old, the Ewoks would have appealed to me. But by the time Return of the Jedi came out, I was a little bit older, and they didn't appeal to me because I thought it was childish. And as an adult, they appeal to me even less because I really think they really drag the story down. Um, yeah, in my opinion, when it comes to Return of the Jedi. Of course, you got the prequels, um, Phantom Menace. Uh, I liked it the first time I saw it. Then obviously after repeat viewings, I didn't like it as much. And the reason why I liked it so much the first time was that it had been so long between Return of the Jedi and then Phantom Menace that you had this insatiable appetite to see a new product from Star Wars. So that nostalgia convinced me that was better than it actually was. I tried to watch Phantom Menace again a couple days ago, and I couldn't get through the first 10 minutes of it. The Jar Jar Binks character just kills it for me. Even though they have one of the greatest fight scenes I think in movie history, the battle between Darth Maul, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Qui-Gon Jinn, which is amazing, and that makes the movie worth watching in itself. So when I do watch Phantom Menace, I don't watch the whole film. I'll just kind of fast forward it to the fight between those characters, and and that's the only part of that really engages me. Attack of the Clones. I've seen Attack of the Clones twice. I'll probably never watch it again. I just didn't enjoy it. It just didn't register me. There's something about it. It's not a terrible film. I just didn't like it. It didn't appeal to me. Revenge of the Sith. It was fine. I liked it. I like finally being able to see that battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi. The romance, obviously, between Anakin and Amidala really kind of drags it down and everything. But on the whole, it was a satisfying end to the sequel. I mean, the prequels. So I haven't seen it in a while, but I'll watch it again eventually. But it's not something I gotta see. But eventually, I get around to watch. I'll probably see it maybe 3 or 4 times. Saw it twice in the theaters, but eventually, I get around to seeing it again. All right, Force Awakens, of course. Then we got another gap, a long gap in between the movies, between the prequels and the sequel. And the Force Awakens, I think, like everyone else, it's the highest grossing I think of all the films. And yeah, it was great to see these new characters updated with today's technology, CGI, and everything. It was great to see it, and I really did like it. And once again, that nostalgia made me like it more than I think I actually should have liked it as an astute movie aficionado, so to speak. Sometimes your biases, your heart overrules your head, so on and so forth. But the Force Awakens was passable. Okay, it wasn't a terrible film. I'm entertained by it. I'll watch it over and over again. I've seen it a few times. Then we got, of course, The Last Jedi, which a lot of folks were kind of split on. Me personally, it was okay. Didn't love it. I've only seen it once. I doubt I'll see it again. It was okay. I didn't like the way that Luke Skywalker was handled at all. That's the major thing that turned me off about the film. Just the way that Luke Skywalker, his actual story was kind of wrapped up. It was very unsatisfying for me. And that brings us now to The Rise of Skywalker. And I just saw it today. I waited about a week. It came out, I think, last Friday. So I wanted to wait a little bit before I saw it. I didn't want to kind of miss that opening rush and all that kind of stuff, standing in line and then being, crushed in the theater and all that kind of stuff. So I figured I'd wait and let everybody see it, then let it kind of die down a little bit, and then go see it. And today I did go see it, and the theater was packed and all that kind of stuff. So, it was a good atmosphere. It just wasn't that frenzy that you get on opening week with the Star Wars films. So I did see it today, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker fucking sucked. I fucking hated this fucking film. I despised it, and I was very disappointed. I was so disappointed watching this film. I've seen a lot of movies in my lifetime, a lot of fucking movies in my lifetime. And for me, seeing a movie in a movie theater, there's no other experience like that. I really love watching movies in a movie theater. I really do. And there have been only been a few times in my life where I've watched a movie in the movie theater and was like, damn, I wish I hadn't done this. You know, it was just that bad to me. It was so bad to me. Once again, I'm a movie aficionado. I fell asleep during this fucking movie. That's how bad it was to me. I was like, damn this shit. I've already spent my goddamn money. You know, I spent like $15, $20, whatever it was I spent to watch this goddamn movie. I'm gonna stay here and watch it, but damn. Damn, damn, damn. And it's a Sunday too. I'm a huge football fan. It's the last weekend of the NFL season. And I'm like, I'm skipping fucking football to sit here and watch this bullshit. That's how I felt about the film. It fucking sucked to me. But I'm gonna tell you why. Alright. The film, once again, spoilers. If you haven't seen the film, leave and come back later. Alright. And the film opens with Kylo Ren kicking some people's ass or whatever, killing folks and doing whatever it is he's doing. He's searching for Rey. He wants to kill Rey, and he's now supreme leader, Kylo Ren of the First Order. So of course we know in the Last Jedi he killed Snoke, so now he's taken over and he's the guy that's, he's the big bad in the galaxy, so on and so forth. And I just didn't care. I didn't care because, and the reason why is that the movie is a fucking mess. The story is a mess of a mess of a mess. There was no cohesiveness to it. To me, it was just a collection of scenes thrown together with familiar characters that everybody wants to see. But there was no arc. There was no bridge between these. It was just shit happening. And that really, really bugged me. Really bugged me. Okay, it opens up with him kicking ass and taking names. So what? So what? And we've got Rey, who's finishing her Jedi training or whatever. And we got Finn and Poe doing whatever the hell it is they're doing. Poe is now a general in the Resistance. You got Princess Leia, God rest her soul. We got Princess Leia, who's in this film, of course. Even though she passed away, Carrie Fisher passed away prior to the filming, but they did incorporate her. I think through some previously shot footage and everything, they did incorporate her into the story a little bit, and her story does have a bit of a cohesive arc of all the characters. Hers does have some semblance of clarity to it. Of course, we got C-3PO. C-3PO actually has a little bit of an arc, which is okay. And we got the return of Lando Calrissian, played by Billy D. Williams. And it was just a glorified cameo. It was just fan service. It was just, he's alive. He's one of the few. He's one of the ones who ain't dead. Of course, Han Solo got killed off. Can't bring him back. Maybe. Can't bring him back. Carrie Fisher's dead, of course. Luke is now a Force Ghost. So who you got left? You got Lando. So they bring Lando back just for fan service, I think. It was good to see him again, but really he couldn't do much. Billy D. Williams is like damn near 90 years old. He's old as fuck. So action-wise, he really couldn't do a whole lot. So really just seeing him is really, all we really get. And he gets a couple lines, whatever. But but he really has no business in the film, actually, because he really doesn't add anything to it. He does some stuff in the third act or whatever that helps him out, but he really doesn't add to the story. And one of my disappointment with this film really kind of comes from is the fact that, like I said before, it's a collection of scenes. There is no cohesive plot, anything that really you can really sink your teeth into. And the movie is almost 3 hours long, or 2.5, almost 3 hours long. And it's basically them just going from place to place to place doing shit. And it's throwing in some action sequences and everything, stuff that we've seen is kind of done to death. So I'm kind of over that. I want to see something new, something different. Also, I want to see this is the final film of the Skywalker legacy. And I want to see I want to see a bow get tied. I want to see more of a coherent end to the Skywalker saga. I mean, it deserves it. It really does. But instead, we get new characters who don't mean anything. People are coming and going. People who are insignificant, who haven't earned anything to be in this damn to be featured in this goddamn legacy, in this saga, and they're taking up screen time, which, in my opinion, could have been better used on the characters that we care about. Because the new characters, I care nothing about. And even some of the characters who are already there, I care nothing about. Like, for example, Rey. Rey is your ultimate Mary Sue. And that's the thing that's always bothered me about Rey. Is like, I don't feel like she earned anything. She really didn't have to go through anything because she's a Mary Sue. And you're saying, what's a Mary Sue? A Mary Sue in film technology, so to speak, terminology, so to speak, is a female who like has no flaws, and there's nothing that she can't do. It's like, and that's Rey. I mean, what all the stuff that she goes through in these films. I mean, she doesn't go through. She has a solution for it. She overcomes everything, and everything comes easy for her. And she's like the most powerful Jedi. She's the last of the Jedi, I guess, and she's like one of the most powerful people in the planet, in the galaxy. And I'm like, how? Why? I mean, her lineage, so to speak, was the big mystery. It's like, who is Rey's parents and where did she come from? All this kind of shit. Is she a Skywalker? Is she Luke's daughter or something like that? No, it turns out her parents just some bums or whatever sold off for drinking money or whatever. So and why is she so force sensitive? Why is she the chosen one to be the most powerful Jedi in the fucking galaxy? It doesn't feel like she earned anything. So that really turned me off of her character. So by the time we get to the Rise of Skywalker, me personally, I'm not invested in this character. Like I was invested in Luke Skywalker because we got to know Luke. We knew Luke what Luke was all about. We knew what he had to go through. We knew the demons that he had to face, and we empathized with him. And we could empathize with him. Plus, we could identify with him because we can see Luke in us. I don't see Rey in me. I don't see anything about her that I could really personally attach to, and not because she's a female and I'm a male. Just that her character in 3 films really was never fleshed out. They never really gave us a reason to care about her. At least that's in my opinion. So seeing her in this film being this badass Jedi or whatever really did not impact me at all. I'm like, just ho hum, let's get to the fucking end. Next you got Finn. Oh my god, Finn. I liked Finn in The Force Awakens. I liked this character. I liked the brevity he brought to it. I like the fact that he had to go through something. He was a stormtrooper. And he's someone who had a conscience, who he had to step up and do something different. He had to go through something, and he had to earn it. And they wasted Finn. They made Finn annoying to the point where I got sick of his ass. By the time we got to the Rise of Skywalker, he was okay in Force Awakens, but I really was annoyed by him in The Last Jedi, and just a continuation of his annoyance in this film here. And plus, he really has very little to do. Basically, they just kind of shoehorned him into the plot and gave him some other abilities, whatever, that, once again, it doesn't feel like he really earned it. And the thing about Finn's character that bugs me more than anything else is like every 10 seconds, Rey! He's all about some goddamn Rey. I'm like, who the fuck, man, dude, bitch, you got your nose wide open. I'm sorry, I mean, call Rey a bitch. Rey, don't strike me down or whatever. Anyway, but that was really annoying with Finn. How every time she gets involved in something, she's fighting or whatever, he's in the background screaming, Rey, like a bitch. And I'm like, dude, grow a pair. I mean, and he did that in the first movie, and it's like every movie, he's just screaming, Rey, do something, man. Still just, it's just annoying to me. That's the thing about his character. I got to a point where I was just sick of seeing him, sick of him falling over Rey. Next up, of course, we got Poe. Once again, Poe was a very likable character. I really liked him in The Force Awakens. I liked him, he was okay in The Last Jedi, and once again, in this film, in The Rise of Skywalker, he has very little to do, and they're just shoehorning something in for him to do because he's one of the known characters. Chewbacca, obviously he's back. He had a bit of an arc, so Chewbacca, obviously, he doesn't, he's That's fine. Not a problem with Chewbacca. But and finally, Kylo Ren, of course. The Kylo Ren character, I think of all the characters, he was the most engaging character, and at the same time, the most wasted character as well. And the one thing about the sequels that I never liked about it is Kylo's arc. I didn't like the fact that he was Leia and Han's son, and that he turned to the dark side because I didn't think it was believable. It just didn't make sense to me for him to be Leia and Han's son and to do the things that he did. It just didn't fit for me. It didn't feel right to me, and it really turned me off. And and this character, the Kylo Ren character, I never feared him. One of the things about Star Wars, the original trilogy, is that you feared Darth Vader as an audience member, as someone who follows the film. You feared Darth Vader, especially in the first two movies. You really feared him because he's the biggest, blackest, baddest man in the galaxy, and he'll fuck you up. You piss him off, he gonna choke your ass or whatever, and he will kill you. And if you worked for him and you screwed up, you dead. And with Kylo Ren, I never felt threatened. For one, in the Force Awakens, even though he's powerful on the dark side and everything, Rey kicks his ass. So the Mary Sue kicks his ass. So I really, I'm like, dude, you got your ass. Well, you're supposed to be, all powerful, and you can't even handle this chick who just came off of Jakku. So I really kind of lost my respect for his badassery at the end of Force Awakens, and I felt no threat from him in The Last Jedi, and even less of a threat from him in this film, because once again, first of all, if you don't know, I'm a screenwriter as well. I've been writing for a long time. I've written for television. I've written a couple films. So, and when I say I'm a screenwriter, I'm not somebody who just sits in the basement and writes. I've actually made money doing it. I've sold screenplays. Unfortunately, I've only had one film produced. I won't even go into detail about that. But, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to screenwriting, okay? So I'm just not some dude who just, sitting in his basement saying shit, okay? And with the Kylo Ren character, I'm saying it's a wasted opportunity. And when you develop a character, and you want this character to make the audience feel a certain way, then that character has to be consistent so that your emotions remain consistent with this character. So as the character evolves or changes, your emotions evolve and change with that character. Me personally, with Kylo, once again, not feeling threatened by him, that basically made him inert to me. He was no longer someone that I feared. Therefore, I did not care about his character and what his character was going to go through the three films. So by the time we get to Rise of Skywalker, all that stuff, like I said, it opens with him killing folks and everything. I'm like, whatever. I know what's going to happen with this guy. Already, because once again, as a writer, I have this sense when it comes to watching him. I kind of know how a character is going to play out before it plays out. And that's a good and a bad thing. But me knowing in my head as a writer how the character is going to play out, that still doesn't take away, detract from my ability to enjoy it, because it's the presentation of that character that makes it so compelling. So even if you have an idea of what this character is going to wind up being, it's how he gets you from point A to point Z that engages you. Well, with Kylo Ren, when I got to the point E, I was done with him. So I couldn't, getting to point Z was irrelevant to me because I already knew that his character A was going to reject the dark side, come back to the light, and that he was going to die, and all those things happened. And the way that it went down, it just did not register with me. It didn't register with me at all. So, so Kylo Ren, of course, he's searching for Rey. For one, he's not going to kill Rey. But that's what he's trying to do: find her and kill her, or whatever the hell it is, or get her to join him so they can rule the galaxy together. Bullshit, or whatever. So of course they fight. She defeats him. She basically kills him, brings him back to life. Don't get me started on her powers that are now just overwhelming. where she can raise the dead, whatever. And at the end, of course, he has rejected Kylo Ren. He's been solo again. Now he's fighting for good, even though he's murdered 1,000 people in the goddamn galaxy. Now he's fighting for good, truth, justice, and American way. And and at the end, of course, he excuse me, he dies, and so what to me? Now, the big reveal. Everybody knows that Palpatine comes back. Emperor Palpatine from the original trilogy. He's the big bad. He's the puppet master who's been kind of orchestrating everything in these films. Once again, it didn't feel earned at all. And everybody knows that in Last Jedi, Snoke gets killed. Snoke was supposed to be the big bad. Actually, turns out Snoke was just a puppet of Palpatine. He's basically a clone that Palpatine was using to get to Rey, Kylo Ren, so on and so forth. Bullshit. Bullshit. And the Emperor died at the end of Return of the Jedi, for me. Okay, he got thrown down that damn elevator shaft. So them retconning and bringing him back, it just felt desperate to me. It felt like lazy writing. They went and found a character that everybody could identify with, brought him back. It's just lazy fucking writing. Lazy writing. I could have done a better job with this. Much better job with this. Folks at Disney, next time you guys gonna do a Star Wars trilogy, hit me up. Okay, 'cause I could have done a whole lot better than the bullshit you guys gave us. So for me, just on the whole, this whole movie just reeked for me. It was a cash grab. That's what it was. It was just a fucking cash grab. They know they're gonna make a couple $1 billion off of it just because of Star Wars. They don't even have to really try anymore. All you do have to do is slap Star Wars on it. You play that opening music, you have that crawl, and everybody's gonna come see it, no matter how good or bad it is. And that's basically what it is. This is a lazy fucking film. They didn't really didn't put any thought into the development of these characters, and tying up these knots and ending this saga, the Luke Skywalker saga, in a satisfying way. It just did not work for me at all. I did not like it. Didn't like anything about it. Anything about it. The action sequences were just there. They were just window dressing to me. And once again, it's just been done to death. And how many times you see the X-wing fighters and getting shot down, and Star Destroyers and killing planets. I mean, it's the same shit. Rinse, repeat, rake in cash. And that's all they're doing. And I felt manipulated. And nobody should feel manipulated. When you're sitting in a movie theater, you spent your goddamn money, and you've invested your time into this goddamn film. You shouldn't feel goddamn manipulated while you're sitting there. And that's how I felt. So I was very dissatisfied when I left the movie theater. It just did not work for me on any level whatsoever. The death of Princess Leia, of everything that happened in the film, that was handled okay, but still, it didn't feel earned to me, because we already know she's dead. And we know they had to work out something to where her character gets some sort of send off or whatever. And you got this fan service where they're bringing in characters that you remember, so and so forth. Once again, they bring back Han Solo as a ghost, so to speak, or as a vision, and he has a conversation with Ben. They bring Luke back as a Force ghost. I mean, and the whole Luke thing, I think that'll be for a different conversation. I'm very dissatisfied with the way that Luke was handled in the sequel trilogy as well. So nothing satisfied me with this film. I know I'm rambling and I'm being kind of redundant in my thoughts about this film, but I'm just saying I'm just very, very disappointed in this film. And I didn't want to be disappointed. I've heard the other reviews and everything. I don't pay attention to other folks' reviews anyway. I still want to see it myself and then formulate my own opinion. Then I'll refer to those reviews or whatever. So I went in with a clean slate, knowing that, obviously being a Star Wars fan, going in there wanting to like the film, and knowing that there have been a lot of critical backlash on this film prior to going in, I still went in with a clean slate, so to speak. But I left just feeling dirty as hell. I had to go home and take a shower. I just felt dirty. I felt abused, betrayed, robbed, ripped off, you name it. Run amok, led astray, you name it. So, what do you think about Rise of Skywalker? Have you seen it so far? Am I off base? Am I being a little bit too critical? Am I being too much of a fanboy? Am I being arrogant? Am I being a know-it-all? I want to know what you think about Rise of Skywalker. Hit me up below. Let me know if you felt the same way. When did you see it? Did you see it on opening week? Did you wait like I did? Did you listen to other reviews, other people's opinions? Did that in any way sway you before you saw the film? But I do want to know what you think as far as how the characters were handled. Rey, is she a Mary Sue? How'd you feel about Finn, and especially Kylo Ren, Ben Solo? How those characters were developed and handled over the the whole trilogy, and whether or not I'm the one who's off base. I don't think I am, but I want to know what you think. So please comment below. Let me know. Also, please subscribe. I'm trying to get my subscribers up. I got a goal. I want to get to 1,000. So I'm getting there. Help me get there. Sign up for notifications. Hit me up on Twitter at whatlonzothinks. Email whatlonzothinks@gmail.com. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks so much for being a subscriber. And please subscribe. If you're not a subscriber already, please subscribe. Sign up for notifications. I'm doing this for a while. I'm getting better and better at it. Damn it, I'm getting good at it. I try to be funny. Can't keep it lighthearted. Forgive the profanity, but fuck it. I'm grown. Like I said, I don't want to say if the profanity bothers you. Fuck it. Anyways, I want to know what you think about Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. So hit me up. Let me know what you think. Because damn it, you just heard what Lonzo thinks. Bye.